Alright, test, test, test. Sweet. Looks like we're live. It looks like the view's good enough. I'm just throwing out stream announcements and then we'll get going. Alright, Five Tribes came to BGA a little while ago. I've played quite a bit of Five Tribes at WBC and have gotten pretty good. And I'm excited that it's on BGA. I've yet to get rated super highly, but I'm rated pretty well. We're at a table with a player who has a rating of, who's basically played. And then we have somebody else who's pretty good. Looking at the opening board here, we're playing 3 players, so Viziers are only okay. I don't see any triples on the opening board, is that correct? That's correct. We do see both. We see some good early merchandise. We have a couple of we have an uncommon right up front. We have some rares, although a lot of similar stuff on the row, but it'll eventually filter. Our opponent bid 3 to go first, the guy who's relatively good. We should also check our genies quick. Uteg can be okay, but it requires a lot. The others are just kind of okay points. None of them are huge. Is there a way to pick up 3 elders and buy a djinn? It doesn't even look like that's the case, right? All the double elder spaces don't let us pick up a genie. So then is there a way to pick up multiple greens and get multiple purchases? Because that could be a strong opening. It looks like the greens are like almost perfectly split. There is this space where you could pick up 3 greens and buy 1. That's a decent start, but anyhow, I see nothing to actually strongly bid on. Last thing to check, sorry, blues. Are there any blue hotspots on this map? I mean, there's a 5 here. There's like a 4. There's a couple of 4s. There's no real hotspots, though. There's some solid blues, but nothing incredible. I'm definitely just going to bid 0 here. 5 tribes, people bid too much on average, unless there's something really good to go for. I don't really see anything great to go for here. In fact, my opening move probably is just like buy a bunch of merchandise, which is only okay. Gathering some number of elders is an okay action, but yeah, we'll see what our opponent leaves for us. Our opponent does do the move we were talking about. They have a silk and a jewels already. Interesting question if they take the other jewels. They do just take the other jewels just to junk it up. Okay, fair enough. That's slightly annoying, but it's not a huge deal. It doesn't leave us anything particularly good to be doing, to be honest. Our opponent's not really made any new action spaces that are good either. I might just pick up 3 elders for the future. Elders make any future moves where I want to end on a sacred place better. And that might just be the best bet. So then the follow-up question is, where do I want to pick up 3 elders? Probably like right down here. Picking up elders right here doesn't look like a big issue, because I'm leaving a decent move behind for my opponent, honestly. It's pretty good, but it's not so good that I care that badly. And I think I like just having elders in hand. Having a bunch of elders in hand enables some possible funny business with this guy. That means I don't want to clear this tile in order to claim this guy, so I probably claim this guy just by clearing these out and doing a loop. Yeah, I guess somebody might clear this for me. This is as good as it's gonna get, I think. I'm leaving behind a pretty freaking good action. This is a 18-point action. I essentially took a 6-point action. It's really not the dream, but this is a really bad board to start on, so whatever. We're gonna do that. I do not like this start here, though. This is not a great beginning, but our opponent paid 3 coins, we have to remember, in order to take that opening. They did get 4 pieces of merchandise, but they paid 6 coins for those merchandise. Like, their opening move's not that great either. They've chosen to take 2 gems, too, which is like, it's a fun denial thing, but it's just kind of losing. It's not really gaining that many points. Wow, and our opponent's not even picking up the thing that we left. So that's interesting. Our opponent is going to assassinate what? One of my elders? Oh, how miserable, though. This is one of the annoying things. People don't know how to use assassins, and then they just do crap like this, where they're going to kill one of my elders. Yeah, it's so annoying. The main advantage to assassinates is to clear other spots on the board, but I guess kudos to them. They got to claim a tile and buy one piece of merchandise. They didn't even buy the right merchandise. That's annoying. They should be buying this spice, but whatever. They've left stuff on the board. The merchandise continues to be kind of bad. I mean, there's obviously a thing of ivory there, which is good, but our opponent bid 3. So this is where we have to be a little bit tricky, but I think we're supposed to bid 5. I've left a... This is an 18-point move. God, bidding 5 for an 18-point move is annoying, but allowing our opponent to have it for 3 is annoying. That's net 13 points. It's not obvious that I get 13 points otherwise, is it? It's really not. Like, the board is bad. It seems very unlikely that the weak player is going to bid 8 to go first. If they do, this is also pretty sad, but gosh, I do not like paying 5 to go first, but I really don't like the actions available. There's very few things to do thus far. Now, bidding 0 just to go after the weak player was also like pretty defensible here, but I'm going to just get this move. We paid a lot for this move. I'm not thrilled about this start at all. This is a pretty weak start overall, but this is good enough. Good enough. That tile's at least worthwhile. But yeah, having our Elder get assassinated right away on round 1 is so obnoxious. It is one thing I've been noticing playing with weak players, though. They just love to use assassins to knock out other people's Elders and Viziers, and it's just not very strong. But it is something that I probably need to adapt to online more, is that people are just going to do it, and I need to be ready for it. Anyhow, one of the nice things about having control of this tile is that the genie here, Enki, becomes a bit better. Now we can turn any of our fakirs we draw into a guaranteed 3 points. That's not particularly strong, to be honest, but it's okay at least. It's a mild little engine, and in 3-player, a mild engine can still be useful depending on how many turns the game goes. Thus far, nobody's really getting to do a camel control game, but the game should start exploding relatively shortly. People are going to start making 5 stacks, and loops will be available, and chaos will begin ensuing. But right now, my opponent has very few good options on this board. There's very little to do. One of the reasons I liked taking Elders early is, like, one of the moves that looks okay is to just end an assassin on this space, kill the green guy, take control of the 10-point space. But then I can also pick up a genie while doing that. So that move's boosted a little bit, but given that my opening move was essentially just 2 Elders at this point, it's pretty miserable. Also, there goes that move. I wonder what my opponent's actually going for here, though. I don't really know what my opponent's up to here. My opponent's just grabbing more merchandise, getting a silk and a spice and buying the tusks. Okay, so they're doing a heavy merchandise thing and buying pottery. Okay, I mean, defensible enough. They're doing a big merchandise game, which is pretty good. They are leaving behind a pretty good move, though, right? Now, taking this palace move is also quite good. It's not so great on the blues, right? The blues are only 4 points. I guess it is only a 14-point move, but 14-point moves are pretty good. One of the kind of tricks of this game is often to go last and get to bid first, or get to bid last and see what your opponents do. But anyhow, there's multiple good moves on the board now. Loops just became available. There's a very good loop available on the board. Getting to do this loop and claim 21 points of tiles is like quite good. So this is the downside. I have to bid first, right? Like, I have to bid first here, and that's pretty annoying. It's pretty annoying. This 21-point loop is pretty freaking good. It's actually really good. It also can kill this off. You can loop this way, take these tiles, kill this off, and then there's very little left to do. That's annoying. Gosh, I want to bid to be first, but I hate that the other good player's after me. I honestly think I might just bid 0. I guaranteedly go last. I'm assuming that the weaker player is going to possibly set me up for something, like they just did. They left some very good stuff on the board, and I'm going to try to play around that. But this is not the greatest. Also, depending on how aggressive my opponent is here, they don't have to bid that much, hoping that the weaker player doesn't know how to loop, which also very likely could work here. And in fact, that's what they go for. They just bid 0. God, I think that's actually a really good move on their part, but this is really unfortunate for me. I'm assuming that the weak player here is not going to catch the good move, and we're going to be in further trouble here with, yeah, does not appear that the weak player has caught the loop that's available, and it's not good for us. Our opponent's going to get a very strong move for a bid of 0, and we're going to be left looking at not a hell of a lot, to be honest. The only upshot is that the resource market has stalled out a little bit. But yeah, I'm very nervous about this game. It's not looking great for us yet. The only thing we can hope for is that this opponent leaves behind another very strong move. They might leave behind another very good move, and our strong opponent has to pick between the two, and that way we get left with one of them. It's certainly the hope at this point, because, yeah, and it looks like they are going to leave behind a pretty good move. I think they're about to put something, yeah, they're about to put a green on that tile. Okay, so that's pretty lucky for us. Getting to pick up 2 merchandise and an 11-point tile is going to be a pretty good turn, but yeah, this guy gets to do a loop. I guess, yeah, this was worked out. This is worked out still. It's not great. Our opponent is going to get a better move than we get, but our move's still pretty good. Getting to drop a green on that tile is pretty good. But yeah, the loop is definitely better. 21 points. I guess 21 points but no merchandise versus 11 points and 2 merchandise. I mean, there's no way 2 merchandise is 10 points, so the loop is better, but yeah, we're really gonna have to figure out how we're actually gonna get an edge on our main opposition here, because it is not obvious. Also, I didn't change my stream title, or did I? Am I lying to people right now with what I'm streaming? I should pay attention. Oh no, I did change my stream title. Look at me. All right, that's why nobody's tuning in, because it doesn't say Agricola. Our opponent seems to be debating here. Maybe my opponent misses the loop. The loop is very good. Oh wow, they are missing the loop. They're gonna just take the. Oh wait, no, they're gonna kill the loop. They're gonna kill the loop and buy a genie. I'm guessing they're gonna buy Utug. They have some Fakirs in hand, and then they must be planning to use it right away to take the 15-point tile. But that's an okay move, but it's not particularly good. Wow, they don't even use it right away. They must have more Fakirs, or they must plan to get more Fakirs. Okay, well, that's a good outcome for us. Our opponent missing the best move. Now the tricky thing is we want to leave strong moves on the board, oddly enough, because we're bidding last. And that puts a lot of stress on our opponents. If we can leave behind some really powerful move, that would be the coolest. I don't know that we can do that, but we can leave some nasty stuff on the board here, actually. In terms of, it's going to be hard for our opponents to bid. We can leave some lone meeples on these tiles and then drill over here. And we can leave open the 10-point tile. One of the ways to play defense here against Utug is to leave open the high VP tiles. I mean, we could also clear out the 15-point tile is another option here. Just so our opponent couldn't take that. But I think that's the wrong play at the moment. I think we clear the 10-pointer. I think we leave a red. Leave a blue here. Leave a red here and go green. Pick up some merchandise, get some more points. All right, good enough. And then we'll see what our opponents bid. Some of the really good moves here are right, you can drop a red here and take both these tiles. That's the real dream, is you just leave a red here and you pick up both these. Now, even better than that, I suppose, is to drop a guy on this tile that I opened up and then take this red here. So like pick up this stack and go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Use this guy to assassinate this guy. Pick up 21 points of tiles again. So we'll see how much our opponent bids for this. I'm willing to pay 5, but if our opponent bids 5, I think we just go 0 and see what gets left for us. And this is part of why it's so hard for my opponent too. If I'm allowed to bid first here, I can really make the board a lot worse for my opponent. So they have a tough choice of what to do. Also, a pretty good Djinn showed up here, Barak. Barak is a pretty good genie. If you have a tile to use it with. We don't have a tile to use it with, so not as good. Okay. Our opponent is letting us go first. Okay, so the only question I really have to have here is how much do I care about this move if I leave behind this guy? This guy is only a 12-point move unless our opponent can pick up a thing. I think we just bid 5 here. We take the best move away from our opponent, and they're not left with a hell of a lot. Yeah, they're really not left with a hell of a lot. There is a gold in the merchandise, but it's buried pretty deep, so I don't think that's a huge worry. I don't love bidding this much to go first, but also, like, thus far there's not that many good actions, and I really like constraining my opponent's actions. I also like the fact that I can do a slight camel rush game here. Of getting to take 2 tiles in 1 turn here is pretty powerful. The more I can limit the number of turns in this game, the better. Merchandise really wants lots of actions to filter through the deck, especially when my opponent bought 2 sets of merchandise on turn 1, bought the 2 gems. So if I can limit the number of turns, that's also going to be pretty good for us. Honestly, I think our opponent might decide to try to just like end here, pick up a bunch of pick up multiple more elders and pick up a fakir or 2 by buying them, and then they're going to start using their genie to take high VP tiles, like the 15 and the 12. One of the weaknesses of what I've done this far is I've not played defense against Utug here, but I don't worry that much about Utug. Like, it's only a 4-point genie that you spent an elder and a fakir for, and then you have to use an elder and a fakir to take a tile. This is like a lot of actions and turns generally, so I don't tend to find Utug particularly efficient. It's a decent thing, but I'm not super concerned. So we're going to see what happens. Indeed, our opponent does just go for more fakirs. They are just buying fakirs and diving for the gold also. I think they're playing merchandise a little too heavy here. They're going to have a really nice merchandise set, but they have no camels on board. Although they're about to. I mean, they're definitely taking the 15-point tile right now. They're using Utug. That's why they went and got fakirs. But now they're already out of elders again too. Yeah, this is okay. I'd love to clear this 12-point tile as somewhat of a priority. Just get rid of this 12-point tile so my opponent no longer has access to it. And that also really lowers the value of Utug. Once the 15, 12, and 10 are gone, all you can claim are 8s. 8s are solid, but if you're paying an elder and a fakir for 8 points, you're not really making much value. So I think we're back to being in a decent spot here, actually. I do have to go first on the bid next round, but as long as our opponent here doesn't leave anything too nuts, that doesn't really matter. And it doesn't look like our opponent's leaving anything particularly crazy. They are leaving a loop. You can pick up 2 elders, claim this tile, and make 2 purchases. That is admittedly pretty good for the guy doing merchandise sets, but I'm not a merchandise set. Our opponent does want this papyrus. They don't have any yet. Otherwise, lots of fakirs come in. I think this is a relatively easy 0 bid. I'll go last this round. Again, getting to go last so that I can set up strong moves on the board and then possibly bid first for them is kind of a powerful tactic. And there's just nothing that looks particularly strong on this board. I mean, this is a fine move here, obviously. This is another 12-point action, right? You pick up the builders and get money. Our opponent has bid 0 again. That's a little annoying. So the weak opponent's going to go first and then possibly leave something, but we'll see. We'll see. I do get to go last. We'll see what gets left. Currently, there's a decent number of solid moves, and okay, our opponent is going to wind up going for. They're going to wind up going for this. They're leaving another loop available. Can loop onto this. This is not a great loop though, but they're leaving a couple loops at least. And yeah, there's 2 loops available, and I get one of them, so that's an okay outcome. We'll see what else gets created here. See what else gets created. The loops look like the best thing on the board to me, to my eyes. And indeed, my opponents take... Wow, they're not taking a loop. What are they doing? Oh, they are looping. They just don't want control of the tile. They want 3 elders plus buy 2. Okay, they want 3 elders plus buy 2. And then they're gonna... Yeah, they want 3 elders plus buy 2, but they're leaving a very nice. This is the 5 value builder space. They're leaving behind a better move than they're taking, in my opinion. Like, yes, they're buying the papyrus. Yes, they're gained a bunch of elders. Now they can use the elders to take control of more tiles, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, but I'm very happy to throw away my Fakir here. I'm very happy to throw my Fakir onto this 5 victory points and take this tile. I'm also able to leave some loops behind by doing this. I get to do this shenanigan, leaving all sorts of loops everywhere for people to worry about. I can pitch this Fakir in for 15, take a 6-point tile. I could buy a resource. I may as well. I mean, it's pretty silly, but it's not. I am losing $1. I'm losing $1, but I'm hopefully setting up for better merchandise in the future. I mean, I'm not going to get a big merchandise set, but I might get some sort of merchandise going eventually here. Although there's not a lot of turns left. I don't know that I should buy that resource, but it feels wrong not to, so... I don't even know what resource my opponent needs anymore, to be honest. I think my opponent does have a nearly full set, so that is 60 points. They're probably missing something, but... Alright, weak player bids 1. There are a lot of good moves. I have left some good moves on the board. Mostly I've left some good loops. And my opponent does bid 3. This loop allows me to pick up 9 points of tiles and buy 2. That's really not that good. I think I've just left enough good moves. I can bid 0 here. I don't really see a reason to bid 5 when there's so many options on the board. And none of the options I left are like incredible. There's just a lot of solid options. So I am going to go with the 0 bid. That early elder move I took first action is looking pretty sad though. Those elders have not turned into anything, but it was hard to know that I was never going to wind up taking an action on a sacred place tile. That's not that common. My opponent's going to loop down here in the corner. No, they're going to ignore the loop again. What? Does my opponent not know how to loop? I mean, they sort of know how to loop. They've showed how to loop. They just don't want to loop onto the open tiles. They want to keep looping for other stuff. But they're going to leave behind some really good actions because they're forced to leave a singleton. Like, they're being forced to leave single guys on these tiles. Yeah, they're just leaving elders for others, and they're taking a bunch of viziers to tie. That's not a particularly good move. They get to buy more merchandise, but they can't even reach the tusks. They don't need the tusks. They're just going to buy fakirs. You're paying 6 points to get these fakirs. I mean, okay, and they do take just an extra pottery, but yeah, I think my opponent's losing sight of some of the efficiency, which is good news for us. Good news for us. Yeah, I mean, this is just a 14-point play. This is just a 15-point play, just sitting there. Those are definitely solid turns. Okay, my opponent has decided to claim that one, so that one's gone. Fair enough. Fair enough. But this one's still, this is just a 14-point play just waiting to happen, so. I quite like looping up here, by the way, too, with these greens. Picking up these two and 11 points looks pretty good. I don't mind that move at all. It's a lot of good actions. The board's really opened up here. See what this guy's doing. This guy's just gonna come take this action. This is what it looks like. It looks like they're just gonna leave some guys. Oh, they're not taking this action. They're just gonna create another action. What are they doing? They're just gonna come take more viziers. Okay. I like them taking more viziers, but holy crap if they left behind more actions. Wowzers. Leaving a blue here is pretty nice. This is another very good blue spot. How do I even get a blue here, though? That's awkward. I guess this stack, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, this stack does it. Okay. I mean, using this stack in order to take this, and now I could buy some more merchandise and actually start playing a sort of a merchandise game to back up what we're doing. It's not crazy. It's not great, but it's not crazy. Gosh, there's a lot of good options. There are a lot of good options. This is a good option. This is a good option. Maybe I just take this. Maybe I just make it simple. I just take the simple one. Just clear this off of here and claim this for 15. Yeah, actually, that looks pretty easy. Just take a simple 15. Although, oof, taking this one so that I could start abusing Borak. Oh, I like that, though. Being able to abuse Borak later is also quite good. Although, how many turns are left in this game? I'm gonna run out of camels pretty quickly. In fact, I could run out of camels next round and just end the game. Alright, let's just do this. Let's just do this. I don't know. I mean, this is where if I was perfectly tracking my opponent's merchandise, I would feel, and money, I would know better if I actually want the game to end or not. I mostly have points in camels, but I have a lot of pretty damn good camels, right? Wow, my opponent bids 5. I think that's wrong. There's way too many strong moves on this board to want to bid 5. There's so many good moves. What are you bidding 5 for? I'll bid 0 very happily. There's a lot of good actions. So many good actions available still. So many good actions. My opponent is grabbing the loop, it looks like. I mean, there's a loop available here. They're not even going to go for the double control loop there. They're just going to go for 2 more viziers and bind crap. How much money do they even have left? Wait, they're not even buying stuff? Wait, oh no, yeah, they're just looping for the viziers. Okay, well, wow, they just want to buy. They're trying to run. They're trying to run a multiple merchandise game. They're trying to make 2 sets of merchandise, is what I think they're doing, in Wheat and Ivory. But I'm gonna try to end the game then. If you're trying to run a second set of merchandise, that's just kind of crazy. They do get to use their Utug guy again to put another camel down. So I mean, I shouldn't totally discount their game. They do have a lot of they were able to claim the 15 and the 12-point tile. But I mean, God, I have so many freaking trees, right? I just have so, like, all of my tiles are very good. An 11-point tile, a 10, an 11, an 11, a 14. It's like those are some really good tiles. This is only a 6. Yeah, I don't have that many camels on my opponent, so I guess we have to be a little concerned. He took control of this tile for 5 points, so he did kill one of the better moves on the board, but he's still allowed some pretty good stuff here. There's a loop here that's 16 points on the blues. I mean, 16 points by looping blues feels totally fine. I do want this game to end soonish, so I do want to claim a tile here. There's not a lot of way. I can claim this tile or this tile. I think I'd rather get a palace out of this. Plus, looping the blues here is slightly more valuable. I could loop the greens still. The greens are 4 points plus a fakir that I don't know that I get to use, though. I've decided that ultimately the merchandise probably is better. Probably better. I'm weirdly gonna leave a yellow here. Can this weaker player reach that? I think they can. I'd rather help make sure that Reaver can't get enough yellows to do anything. I think it's better to leave yellows than it is to leave blues, but it's hard to say. Anyhow, we claim another 11-point tile. I only have one camel left, so we're going to try to end the game next round. We should be able to end the game next round pretty easily. There's a lot of assassins left, which gives us a lot of leeway in terms of finding a way to end the game. I do have $56. That has to be way more than our opponent. We have a lot more gold than our opponent, and we have more tile points than our opponent. But our opponent has 13. Our opponent has 15 points of Viziers on us and has a lot of merchandise on us. So it's gonna be a close game still. But we'll see. It appears our opponent is not taking the bait that we left. We left them bait, and they don't want it. They want to just buy more crap, including some fakirs. I mean, sure, whatever. That's a nothing move. Okay, so yeah, I want to end the game. Awkwardly, it's a little tricky to end the game in a way that I want to. What I would really like to do is I would love to end the game by leaving an action on a sacred place so I could buy a genie. I would really like to be able to buy a genie if I was allowed to, and I'd like to end the game. It's not immediately obvious that that's an option. There is some gold on the market, but it's hard for us to get to these fish. I was about to say the gold is good, but the rest of this is not very good for us. So our merchandise set just kind of sucks. We never actually did much with merchandise, but all right. Is there a way to end the game right now, doing what I want to do? I don't think I can fully do what I want, which is kind of annoying. There's not a lot of open tiles on the board. Oh wait, I can always just assassinate here though. I can always just assassinate here. I can end here, kill this guy, claim the 6-point tile, hand in my guys for an 8-point genie, use said 8-point genie, or just take a 10-point genie actually. Just take a 10-point genie. Doesn't even have to get fancier than that. Just buy a 10-point genie. So this move is 16 points minus the Elder. It's 14-point move. 14-point move and end the game. That's a decent outcome for us. I don't really want to bid for it. Are there other ways to end the game like that? Not really, though. That's what's annoying. There is really only one best option for me to be able to end the game. But our opponent has bid 0. I'm definitely bidding 0 then. We'll see if some really good option gets left for us somehow. Yeah, we'll see if something gets left for us. Um. Okay. Um. Wondering how we're about to wrap up here. This is the end. It doesn't appear Five Tribes streaming is the thing to do, though. I mean, if any of you, yeah, very few people watching this. Hopefully somebody's enjoying it, but yeah, not getting any chatter, which is fair enough. Yeah, this game's almost done. Our opponent does just take some more Viziers. That's good. That locks up the Vizier lead. I don't care about the Viziers, so pretty happy about that. You're tuning in for the last turn. Ah, I see. I do think my best action is what we talked about. I get to... It's clicking too fast. I get to end the game here, and I get to buy just a 10-point... Just buy a 10-point Genie. 10 points is better than Enki here. I could spend an extra Elder in order to get Enki worth 11. Yeah, that doesn't math out, so just do that. Alright, so this is as good as it gets. We'll see if this is enough. What about streaming Terraforming Mars or Ark Nova? Those are both very popular. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't really like either game. So, admittedly, yeah. See, this is the tough part, right? I do like people chatting and hanging out, but I don't like streaming certain popular games. I could maybe do some Great Western Trail streaming. That might work. That'd be fun. I've been having fun with Great Western again lately. Otherwise, I could just always do Agricola or Terra Mystica. I have audiences for those that are happy to chat and hang out. I enjoy Five Tribes a lot, and I enjoy some Beyond the Sun action. So I enjoy occasionally streaming those guys. But anyhow, River Rain has one last move here. I will be curious to see how this game goes. I mean, our opponent has played pretty well. I have some really good camels overall. I have a lot of points in camels. Namely, I have a lot of points in palm trees on top of my camels. But my opponent has some pretty dang good camels too, right? Well, they have some pretty bad camels though too. They have a 4-point camel, an 8-point camel, a 5-point camel. Those ones are not good, but the 12 and the 15 are very good, obviously. They don't have that many genie points, but they do have 15 points of Viziers on me, and they have so much merchandise on me, but they have to have way less money than me too. I have 6 points of Elders on them. They don't have a particularly good last action here, except probably doing more merchandise shit, to be honest. Like, doing something like ending here and buying more merchandise. I guess ending here and assassinating an Elder and claiming the tile and buying some more merchandise might be their play. That type of stuff looks reasonable for them, but we'll see. They're going to start there. Interesting. I thought they might end there. Are they going to, like, just add a palace and pick up 2 elders? Oh, they're going to just add a palace, pick up elders, and then probably claim another tile. They can claim... Is there even an 8-point tile left to claim? I don't think there is. They can only claim, like, a 6-point tile. So they're spending... I mean, that's an okay last action, but it's not particularly scary, so that's good news. That's the good news. The good news is they must have a Fakir left, I'm assuming. Unless they're just using 2 Elders, in which case this is still an 11-point move if they're using both Elders. If they're not using both Elders, it's a 13-point move. 13-point moves are solid, I guess. But yeah, it looks like all the 8s are claimed, so the best they can claim here with Utug is a 6. I don't know why they're thinking so long here. Any of the 6s are fine. I guess they could undo their whole turn. They took control of C4, which is a 4-point tile. That makes no sense. Alright, we did get the win. Oh, we got the win by quite a bit. We're still quite a bit ahead. 159 to 143. They do have a lot of merchandise, but their merchandise is a lot less good than I expected. And they spent... Wow, they were out of coins. They were literally out of coins. They spent all their coins. Oh, okay. I mean, they spent way too many coins this game then. They spent way too much bidding and buying merchandise. I mean, 71 in merchandise is cool, but that's not that good given Well, what merchandise sets did they wind up with? Was that a full set? But the second set just kind of sucks, right? Like, second sets are not worth it. Anyhow, we hit top 12, 10, 12 elo, which is sweet. Um, I hate how they don't organize this merchandise. That's annoying. 71 is out. 71 out of 13 is a 50 and a 21. A 50 and a 21. Yeah, they wound up with an 8 and a 5. See, the problem is like 5 is just not very efficient. So yeah, they spent way too much time buying. Trying to make two merchandise sets is often wrong, and I think that's what really cost them here. Is they went for double merchandise, and double merchandise was a bad idea. But anyhow, cool game for us. Big win. Weaker opponent, obviously, quite a ways behind. They were making too many iffy moves. So yeah, we just consistently make good moves, and which is easier said than done. But yeah, we were really able to just got to really just take advantage of a lot of strong, just generically strong moves. We never really did any of the engine building stuff. We never really, I mean, our merchandise was probably hardly worth picking up at all. Our very first action was unfortunate, but outside of that, everything was pretty smooth. So nice win, nice game. Thanks for hanging out, chatting a little bit. I'm gonna head off. Maybe I'll get to stream a game here in a sec where everybody actually likes it. But I'll be off for a bit. See people later.